I think we might be screwed in the sense that we're not going to be able to
It'll
see
be
the
on
chat
two.
anymore in here.
Yeah, and it'll probably be on two different streams in the YouTube. But you know what? This is what
No.
the welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. This is what I get for joining the show. All I do is bring some bad luck.
Well, James Baker said something about somebody fooling plans, and then James just couldn't resist doing it again.
Yeah, cut the stream. Cut the stream. Can't go back on the blacklist.
Is that who I think it is?
No
The
way.
man is here. How are you
I
feeling
didn't even
today?
send him a link.
I have 7 in my text thread from you.
Yeah.
I just clicked the
Wait,
link.
I
And
can still see the chat, I think. Maybe?
Well, even better. Even better. Are we
Let's
on the
go.
same link? I'm even curious.
all I
So-
saw was it said ref might make an appearance, so I joined.
Good,
Well-
good. Well, I'm glad you did. How are you feeling about all the change up in the league? How are you feel about 2 horse logos in this league?
Who's the other horse logo?
Louisville, the Kings.
Oh, the draft Kings.
Yeah.
I saw someone post that was funny. I'm excited, man. I was kind of reflecting today, and I was like, man, it was funny. What was it? Middle of the season, everybody's talking about how we're going under, and we're not even gonna have a team. We're not even gonna have a season next year. And then, shit, today's news is kind of reassuring. Relocating 3 teams. And then it seems like we got an owner who's interested in what we're actually doing. So I'm all for it.
Yeah, it feels good. I'll be honest. I do like the changes into the smaller stadiums. Selfishly in Houston, I really, for years, I wanted them to play out of shell. One, there's good shade coverage. They know they got to play in this damn summer here in Houston, so it's already kind of retrofitted for that already. But I think even for Dallas up there, it's going to help because, I mean, we could say it now. That field was a little wonky up in Arlington.
Trust me, I practiced on it every day. I hated it.
Yeah. So see, we're seeing the benefits. So I'm all for it, especially because I'm all in. Now I will say, I don't understand why they had to change the Gamblers logo. The Gamblers logo is perfectly fine just the way it was. But am I going to complain?
What did they change about it?
It's like
You haven't seen
I don't
it yet,
know.
Jace?
Yeah, can you pull that up, James?
Let's hope I
It's
don't
a
crash
yellow
the stream
outline.
again by pulling it up. But just give me a second here.
It's just kind of modernized, I guess you would say.
Where are you at, James? You at McDonald's?
No, I just didn't realize that there's 2 stops. One stop means you stop the live stream. The other stop means you stop sharing your screen. So
Oh.
the more you know. The more
Yeah,
you know.
don't
All right,
share your screen. Lord knows what your tabs are.
That's why I'm only sharing 1 tab at a time. So, All right. Can you guys see this right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bet.
So again,
Thank you.
it's still pretty. It's still the best logo in the league. But imagine how much better it would be if it was just the traditional Gamblers logo. They could have been all in. They
Did
all-
Arlington
all
or did Dallas change their logo?
Yeah, they
No.
did.
Their logo,
But
I thought their
sort of.
logo was the
I mean,
best
it's just
one last
going
year.
back to the. It's just going
They
back
just
to
went
the
back
old,
to the bandit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this
Why-
I'm not
why
gonna
mess
lie.
with that?
I don't like. I'm not talking helmets because I haven't seen all of them, but I feel like in the Discord I've seen some of you guys post the throwback helmets or the old helmets, but whoever posted that jersey today of like the all black with the blue shoulder pads. No, I think Arlington had the best jerseys this year. They don't need to change anything with their jerseys.
Really?
Because I mean, that's just me though. I didn't like whatever was posted today. It was like a black jersey with blue shoulder pads. I thought that looked like it just didn't look. It didn't match.
Well, here's a good look. As long as you guys can all see this, here's a look at the 8 teams that we're gonna have. Obviously, the Stallions are back. Columbus Aviators have joined the squad. The Dallas Renegades rebranded from Arlington, which I think is a great move. DC Defenders say the same. Houston Gamblers have rebranded. Louisville Kings are new. Orlando Storm is new. And then, of course, the St. Louis Battlehawks. We knew they weren't going anywhere. Thoughts on the new look for this league? I mean, it definitely feels like now that, when the UFL became a thing originally, when the USFL and the XFL merged, it felt like a mishmash of USFL and XFL. This all feels like UFL now, in my opinion.
Well,
Yeah.
Zach
Everything
brought it
feels
up.
too late, but it feels like Repole's coming in and saying, like, it is too late, but I'm here now, and we're going to make the changes now, and kind of his way going forward. So this stuff should have happened with the merger. Crap. should have happened with XFL 2023. If it shows anything, it shows the XFL 2023 was a failure. Moving Dallas or the Renegades back to Dallas, keeping DC, keeping St. Louis, which are legacy 2020 teams. Everyone else is gone. So there's no trace of the XFL 2023 left, and hopefully it stays that way.
Yeah, I had a point, but I can't remember. But I think this is where I was going with it. It definitely does feel like a shift, right? And again, I don't know how involved Repole actually is behind the scenes, but at least
Very
in front of the scenes, we're getting at least a lot more interaction than we did with maybe some of the previous ownership group. Now, I don't want to throw things out there because people are busy. People got things to do. There's movies to film and things like that. But it is nice to see somebody getting their hands dirty, making some tough decisions, getting some stuff done. I am curious to see how like the local Roughnecks fans are going to feel about the Gamblers change, only because of what I heard in the different tailgates last year. My hope is there's football being played, they're still going to show up. And that's my hope for everybody. If anything, if you haven't been to Shell, it's going to be an awesome experience there. And that's
where the Dynamo play, right?
Yeah.
Ref, have you been to Dynamo games?
I've not, but I've seen pictures.
Okay.
But
I think
amazing.
the best marketing, whatever Houston can do to solve answer your question, is let Wade Phillips be involved as much as possible. Like, make it all about him. Like, get all the Houston fans. I feel like based on what I've seen, they all love Wade. And, like, it seems like Wade has a pretty soft spot for Houston. So I feel like we should fully embrace that whole dynamic. And maybe that will get some more locals involved.
So are you alluding to maybe that Wade could come back to Houston then?
I'm strictly going off of his tweet. I have no idea. Yeah. So I just assumed. Because who's the Brahma supposed to be?
We don't know yet, but
none of that's okay.
I think we could speculate, but it's really nothing final, right? Yeah. I'll be the first to say this: if CJ Johnson is not my head coach next year, I'll riot. I'm not getting rid of my season tickets. No. I will be a menace in the crowd. Don't you worry. Take away my favorite part of this game. Anyway. People will be happy about it, though. Don't you worry. I'll be the only one upset. Ducky, you got to be feeling pretty good after months of speculation. It's finally here. You have a team. Is it everything you wanted and more?
I wanted not orange and black, yellow and black, but I will take red, white, and blue. I'll be America's team. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah. What market? Sorry, I'm fighting a little infection. What market do you think? I'm trying to say this a politically correct way. Which market does the team not need to suck to not lose the fan base off the rip? You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like Memphis never had a shot from day one. Like, they never had a packed game. No one was ever really that excited. Maybe I missed out when I not playing there as much, but I don't know. I feel like all three of these markets should, like, the teams need to be exciting and like give them some, like, especially like Louisville. Like, I feel like that's going to be a huge fan base.
Yeah.
And Columbus.
I'm excited about Louisville because it's such an open market right now for pro football, which we talked about, I think, on the last show or a couple of shows ago, where they have AAA baseball, they've got a couple of soccer teams, that's it. Like, football fans aren't really being served in the Louisville area when it comes to pro sports. So to have that opening where, like, I mean, if you're a baseball fan, if you're a soccer fan, you might be interested in football. But there's a lot of football fans that are probably not going to those soccer games, and they're not going to those baseball games. Now they have something to go to. So knowing Louisville, it's a growing market, and it's one that was, when you look at break down the TV numbers for the UFL from last season, Louisville was one of the top 5 cities, and they don't even have a team. So I think, that probably played a role as well, just when it comes to, I think it was like the household rating it was specifically, that statistic, and I'm excited. I think Louisville's going to do really well.
I got another question for you. I got another question for you, James.
Oh, boy.
You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Oh, no. He does this all the time, bro.
I love it.
I do think
to
the market.
Answer his question, though, even though he left, I think the one that needs to play well out of the gate, and this might sound crazy, we'll debate it. I think it's Orlando. I think Columbus is going to have People are going to show up. It's
Don't worry
Columbus,
about
Ohio.
Columbus.
There's nothing going on there. I mean, they already hate to be alive. They need a little bit of enjoyment in their life. Hey, some friendly,
we're the
affordable
city of
football that'll do it
champions.
for you. And, when it comes to Louisville, James, you just kind of mentioned, it's kind of an untapped market. I think there's a lot of potential to grab some people. Now, Orlando, we've seen a couple different situations in Orlando. We saw the Orlando Apollos. They did pretty well. But you know what they had? They had a pretty good team. But then we also saw the Orlando Guardians. Not a horrible turnout, but a difference, I would say, in enthusiasm between the two. And you could almost even make that argument for Tampa Bay with the Vipers. Right? They didn't have a huge turning in that 2020. But I mean, we'll see here in a few months. Now, James, I feel like you had an answer to this question too, and I cut you off, so I apologize. What do you think?
You completely explained my point. I mean, Orlando quite literally is a fair weather city, and very tourist based. If that team doesn't catch on quick, they're not going to catch on at all. And I mean, it's good that Repole seems to have some local ties. Danny Garcia seems to have some local ties. And thank God we're getting some new branding there. I think that was the biggest fear, is that they go back to the Orlando Guardians. But I think it shows a level of growth to recognize that was the wrong move and to completely build anew. So looking forward to what they're building there. But I think that they have to come out the gates hot.
I wish I had it nearby because it's in my closet, unfortunately, but I have the Orlando Guardians Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson jersey, and it's honestly the highest quality XFL merchandise I've ever purchased. I was like, wow, they can make nice merch as long as The Rock's name's on it. Now I'm hoping the UFL does us good here. I need a good jersey. I want some Stitch jerseys and not like. Let's get some good stuff here. Repole, I hope you're listening, buddy. We got a lot of demands, man. Like I said, I'm all, dude, can I just explain real quick? Because I know you guys think it's all a shtick or half a shtick. This morning, I've been on meetings since 6 a.m. What are we looking at here? I see James. Is that James on a, oh, that's not James on a bike. What are we looking at here? It's, what is this?
Jay Sternberger said, "Got him!"
Oh.
In all caps. No, that's Kyle Sloter on a bicycle. Hold on.
Oh, side him up. That's even funnier.
I'm so confused as to what happened to the chat because people are saying they can't chat, but I'm still seeing chats come in. So
So
like,
You got to refresh your page.
Yeah.
no, I can see the chats. I can put them on the screen.
They've got to refresh their YouTube page.
Oh, okay, guys. It wasn't me, actually.
Yeah,
Gosh.
dummies.
No,
So
it
anyway.
was you. You ended it.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, this morning, I've been on meetings since like 6 in the morning. And I'm dodging, going in between calls, and I see the press release come through. And I'm like, oh, yeah, Houston's returning. I already knew that. But when it said Houston Gamblers, in that little text, I can't even explain the feeling that went through my body. Some of you were in Discord this morning when I was just rapid firing, using expletives, telling people to F off, eat S, gamblers are back, 12-0, CJ's your daddy. What are you going to do? Just rapid fire, all facts, all true, all raw emotion. And then, I don't know, I pulled up Twitter, pulled up the press release, and I saw that logo. And it was like the reverse feeling. It was just this goof. What am I looking at? Now, since then, I've grown on the new logo a little bit. It is pretty slick. But of the two, I think we can all agree the classic Gamblers logo is the right direction. Now, somebody at the UFL, you got to be listening. One thing I learned early in my career is if you're gonna fail fast. And let's get this shit out of the way, guys. Rough them up, gone. All in, sign me up. Let's get that logo back. Now, you know what? Small price to pay when we're hoisting the trophy at the end of the season. 12-0 is our destiny.
Oh.
I don't really care what the logo looks like, but I do a little bit. Yes, what do you got?
Chat is disabled.
In a good way or a bad way?
No, there's 82 people on our stream, and none of them can
It
talk
typically
to us.
is, but this time it's bad,
So wait, how can people type?
And Jake said, "Why the
Oh.
are the comments disabled?"
Where is? Well, then.
Guys, I do not know what I did.
Well, I'll investigate. You guys talk amongst yourselves. Let me see what I can find out. Oh, it didn't
Can we
create a second
acknowledge
stream. Interesting.
how we lost the Panthers and we got back the Gamblers, so Ref's Law will live on forever.
Isn't it amazing? Like Ref's Law, we it's done. And you know what's? Jake's not here.
finished.
Zach's not here. But I really hope they move the Panthers to Ohio. I think, well, one, for a couple reasons. One, I don't live in Michigan anymore, so that's funny to me. If I still lived in Michigan, I get it, guys. You guys are like, shut the hell up, Ref. But there is humor in that. Now,
I don't think anybody would care.
Now, no, they will care. They will care when this happens, when the Ohio Aviators win the championship their first year, and Detroit has gone so many years without a damn championship in their city, and then the team relocates, and then the next year they win. There might be some people on a ledge in the city of Detroit. There's going to be some people that were like, they were already struggling to keep their lights on, and then the damn Aviators had to win a championship, and that's it. I'm sorry, honey. You know, use your imagination. Yeah, it's going to be wild. We don't even have a thumbnail on this video. What kind of sloppy shop are we running around?
No, Ref, what happened is it started a whole new live because I stopped it and restarted. So then I went into the new live and I edited the title and the description. That way people could see it was part 2 of our live. And I guess when I did that, it disabled chat.
Here's what it is. You have it set to made for kids. As family friendly, as family friendly as I like to think I am. I'll update this real quick. But I got an instinct.
Man.
Okay.
You know, I thought I finally had figured out something new. Like, oh, I can share my screen. Sweet. And Ref, I promise I did a better job hosting these when you weren't here. I promise.
This is what my wife says when about parking. I get in the car and she's like the worst driver, and she's like, "I'm only bad when you're in the car." I was like, I got a feeling. I got a feeling.
First Michigan Panthers fan to go to the Aviators, Mike Tebow. So shout out to that guy.
Well, why would he do that? Why wouldn't he come to the Gamblers?
He messaged me on Twitter. And was like, "Hey, I'm covering the Columbus Aviators," and I was like, "Dude, shout out to you, Mike. That's what it's all about."
Anybody out there looking for a new team?
No.
Don't go to crappy downtown Dallas. Come to where
over here,
Houston, where the home of the Swang is. Now we got the real Texas Throwdown. We didn't need 3 teams in the mix here. I'm sorry, Brahmas fans. This is why the Kings should be the Brahmas. Can I give you my reasoning? The Brahmas were the Rock's vanity team, and I feel like the Kings are Repole's vanity team. He's a horse guy. We got a horse logo. Green,
but he's also got the Storm in Orlando. Which
yeah,
is like
but that's how big he is. That's how big he is.
He's got
the
2.
green for the money dollar bills, y'all. And I mean, Kings. He thinks he is the look. If he saves this damn league and gets us running for 20 years. He is the damn king. Sign him up. And you know what? He's also the Storm. He was the Storm that came on in and shook things up. And you know what? Gave me my flipping Houston Gamblers back. We are not made for kids. Let me refresh this and try to get this going. How the hell did Freddie Airmail put something in the chat?
That's why I was so confused. His comments are still coming in from a couple people. Like
maybe Freddie's a kid. Instead of letting chat.
Oh, good grief. So, you know, I had something to say, but Luke's comments just threw me off right there. But
there's the setting.
Circle it back in.
Refresh now, folks. Try it. I don't know if it's actually going to work, but
we're back, baby.
Yeah.
Let's go.
This ain't your kiddies UFL
this
show.
show was not the same without you, Ref. I'm telling you. But, Ref, we got to talk about it. What in the world was the thought process behind rebranding the Gamblers? Who, mind you, it's a rebrand of a rebrand of a rebrand. Like, Houston, this is their 4th logo in 5 years.
Well, think about this. Where do you think I've been for all these months?
That's what I was wondering.
I've been hitting the pavement. I've been on the phone. I've been sending letters. I've been hijacking horse races, putting notes in the little muzzle thing that they feed the horses with. I put little notes in the bottom so when Repole checks his stable, he pulls it out and says, "Hey, what's this guy?" He pulls it out. Yeah, all in, baby. Bring back those Houston flipping gamblers. You want to make money? You want to get signed up? You want Texas to have a good team? Bring the gamblers back because we know the Renegades ain't doing anything up north. And he said, you know what? You're right. I'm going to tag them 45 minutes out of the city because I don't really care about these guys. That's what he said. That's what he said to me, at least.
Pointing to the championship. I know.
Yeah, James, why are you pointing to the Arlington Renegades? You're the Dallas Renegades.
Yeah.
The Dallas Renegades have never won a championship.
We were going to in 2020. We were going to upset Houston. Don't worry about that.
Pretty sure Houston was going to win that.
I don't know. Sure. Landry Jones, we got him for a reason. You never know. You can win championships at 4-6.
Poor Anthony Miller. I posted a tweet earlier, just kind of jokingly, because Dallas came back, and I was like, "Is it time to bring back Landry Jones?" And Miller's just like, "Please, God, no! Don't remind me of that." Those were some dark days for... it is crazy, though. The Renegades have still yet to have a winning season in general, like, at all.
Doesn't seem that crazy to me.
Record, or at best, 500.
I still don't consider a championship a losing season, so I feel like that negates everything.
6-6. That's still 500, including the playoffs.
Okay.
To be fair, I think Ducky would agree. Right? Because you had the Maulers in the championship, although different outcome.
We went 6-5.
Yeah, I guess you got to. There you go. Yeah, you're right. The Renegades suck.
Everybody loves an underdog. Don't hate.
We went 6-7. We went 6-7.
No.
6-7.
Come on. It's terrible.
I will say I am excited to come up to Frisco. I think it's going to be an electric atmosphere. I mean, we went to that arena game out there. What the hell was that league? And that was wild.
Frisco Fighters,
fun.
yeah,
that was fun. And I mean, it's arena, so it's a different scale, but people showed up. People were rowdy. People were there for their team. And here's the thing with, I joke, oh, you're moving 45 minutes out of the city. Dude, I live an hour and a half outside of Houston, and I'm going to these games for the gamblers, right? Texas built different. 45 minutes out of a city is like your commute to work.
Yeah, like Frisco is going to be a great area for the Renegades. It's way more affluent. They're making renovations to that stadium. It's still a massive suburb. I mean, Dallas suburbs are still double the size of Birmingham, kind of wherever you go. So doesn't really matter there. It's right off the highway. And they used to host the FCS championship game there, which went well every single year. My father-in-law, he does like alumni stuff with JMU. So he's hosted events in that area. There's a lot of like bars, a little kind of touristy place around there with like the Soccer Hall of Fame that they're building. And then also the Frisco Star, which is like 5 minutes down the road. So I think for game day experience, it's going to up it a lot.
I'm curious, which, and this for anybody, what do you think the market of the new markets is going to do the best? And I guess even, maybe not even the new markets, of all the people moving to new stadiums, because we have Houston moving to a new stadium, we have Dallas moving to a new stadium.
I would bet money on Columbus or Louisville, personally. Considering
also, just so you all know, it's not pronounced Louisville, but proceed.
How do you pronounce it?
Louisville.
It's Louisville.
It's actually Louisville.
It's not Louis.
There's a Louisville, Texas.
Lua?
It's also bigger than Birmingham.
Louisville.
You're getting
like
there, dude.
Louisville.
Louisville, yeah.
This is like every conversation I have somebody from New Orleans, and they're like, "That's not how you say it." I'm like, "Yeah, well, okay, It's
actually crawdad gumbo."
Speaking of, bring back the breakers.
Dude, I saw freaking Coach O at the golf, the Ryder Cup. He was sitting there going, he's like, "Go Tigers." Dude, that dude's so funny. He's so funny. I don't know why he stopped coaching.
They need to bring back the breakers and make him the coach.
Go Tigers. Logan Garcia.
Oh man.
Someone said that in the chat.
I want to know.
Ay.
Never mind.
To answer your question, Ref, I don't know who's going to be the best, but I know who's going to be the worst. And unless something changes, it's going to be Houston, because the problems in Houston weren't necessarily with the venue or the brand. The problem was with what they did to that team in the merger, and with how terrible the team is and the coach is. So changing the stadium and the brand to a brand that people didn't want is either going to not help in any way, or it's just going to make the problems worse. So unless they change the coach and bring in Wade Phillips or do some dramatic overhaul to the team and the front office and such, you're really just putting lipstick on a pig, and I think it's not going to be an improvement in any way, shape, or form.
Well, I think that's where you're wrong. And you know what? You might be right for the first game. And people will say, oh, my God, I wanted the Roughnecks. Well, hold on. But you know what? What's going to happen that first game?
Too.
But by that 10th game, when we are 10-0, about to go into the postseason to claim those last two measly wins that we're going to easily get.
Stands? That's crazy.
No, we are going to pack that house. You know what's going to happen? We're going to strike oil. It's going to be great. I'm telling you, I
don't think you can talk about
Shell Energy. I don't understand the rebrand, because the majority of Houston fans right now are Roughnecks fans. Like,
okay,
yeah, you lost a third of the fans. Out of the 300 that are there, 200 are family, 99 are Roughnecks fans, and one of them is the ref.
That's because the Gamblers haven't played there since the 80s. The USFL, the rebrand, or
Right. But what I'm saying is Houston's issue is not, like Luke said, it's not a brand issue. It's just the league. It's kind of on the league and just on just circumstances that surrounded the team losing, the city losing a good team.
It just feels like a Hail Mary.
Yeah.
It's just like, hey, this whole thing is totally jacked up. Let's just completely change the brand and just see if it works. Like,
here's what they need to do. I'm being 100% serious with this. Get CJ Johnson on every morning news station, like as many times as you can. Just talk. And it doesn't have to be about football. Hey, there's a new SpongeBob movie coming out. We got this guy that met SpongeBob at Super Bowl weekend. Let's bring him on the air. He's the Houston Gamblers head coach, CJ Johnson. Like, I love that movie. That movie's great. When I was down in New Orleans, blah, 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 blah. Oh, thank you. CJ Johnson, tell us more about that team. Well, we watched SpongeBob during halftime, and we split it up over the whole season. It's amazing, but come and see us. We're going to be playing football. That's what they need to do, because if you get just a little dose of CJ, you're hooked. I mean, look at him on the sidelines. Those were some of the most entertaining moments of the season. Yelling at people, and it wasn't even their fault. Times 3, hell yeah, sign me up. And if they get rid of CJ, I'm going to be pissed. I am legit going to be pissed.
I think you're going to be the only person that's upset about that.
I am, because I was
Although
there.
I do love CJ as a person. I mean,
I was CJ defender at that last Roughnecks watch party of the season. Everybody's like, giving a whole bunch of crap. But you know what? You know what CJ did that day? He proved everybody wrong, because he threw out a challenge, and he won that challenge. He shouldn't have thrown out the challenge, but he won it.
1 for 20. Congratulations.
He said, well, you can't use them anyway. We might as well use these in the first 5 minutes of the game. Screw it. Get it done with it.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I think basically, Ref, everything that you feel is like the opposite of what every other person from Houston that I know of feels. So, not to dismiss your feelings, but I think Houston has the potential to be a disaster.
I think going back to Jason's question on like which of the new markets needs to get going the fastest, I think we need to look at Houston as a whole new market. You know, new logo, new identity, new uniforms, new stadium, and I think out of the four of them, it's either Orlando or Houston, which has to get out the gate strong to have any sort of success.
I think hottest seat
is Birmingham.
Lot of seat.
Well, I mean, when you take into consideration that protective stadium is going to be utilized for Birmingham, it kind of puts into perspective, like, Birmingham needs to look good this year. I mean, they got another year now, they got another chance, and let's see what the Stallions Nation can do. Now, what I think is really important to note about a couple of these new teams, right, is we've kind of voiced concerns in the past about weather playing a factor, right, with how hot. I mean, Ref, you would know it better than anybody. James, you know it better than anyone, too, of how hot it gets at Choctaw Stadium or down there at TDCU, or when you're playing at Rice Stadium, there was no shade at all. Now these soccer venues, I mean, they at least have some spots where there is shade. Like, there are some seats that you can find where there's canopies, and it's a shame Protective doesn't have that down in Birmingham, but I think that's going to help a lot. You know, Orlando does the same thing. I love that they're playing at Inter and Co Stadium, because Camping World back in 2023, I mean, those people were baking out there, not to mention, because of the way the stadium was set up and they put everybody on one side, everybody was stuck sitting on the side that had the sun. Like, there was shade on the opposite side of the field that they couldn't go sit in because those seats weren't open. So having that corrected this year, I think is going to be big as well, and it'll play a factor in attendance for sure. Because, I mean, who is going to want to go out to watch the Orlando Storm lose 40-17 when they're 2-7, and it's 95 degrees out in Orlando? Like, at least having that shade will at least help. I don't know, assist a little bit in that.
I think so. I think so. Yeah.
Can't wait for the Stallions fans' excuses that, you know, everyone else has shaded MLS stadiums and they don't. So give it 1 week, that pops up.
You're gonna make
now, another thing that I think has been really great to see is
Luke, you're muted.
a lot more marketing lately. Like, Repole's doing his media rounds. We're seeing, like, we're starting to see uptick in, like, legitimate coverage of this league. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but I'd love to get people's thoughts on that, because I've noticed it personally.
Yeah, I'm hoping we see more and more of it. I mean, even to my point, CJ Johnson is a perfect spokesperson for this league. If you get him out there with Repole, I mean, you're going to be pulling in millions, if not billions of people. Is there billions of people to watch? Maybe, I don't know. But they will be watching. You just got to get the TV deals. I mean, if you get the deals, they will watch, something like that. But no, I agree with you, and I think it's about that time, right? Whenever we look at, like, spring football, the year to year, how the news starts coming out, it always feels like we get a little hint in September, we get a decent drop in October, and it might slow down a little bit going into November. Things start churning up in December, but then January, we're going to be hitting the ground running. And one of the things that I saw, or I think Repole mentioned on his interview this morning, was they're going to be at least putting a focus on getting fan engagement events, getting people out on the streets in these cities to inform people that these teams are playing. And not only are they playing, they're affordable. You can bring your full family to a game and even a season, probably for the price of one ticket for a Texans game. Now, we've heard that before, so I'm not saying it's going to happen. But I'll say this: I think that was a big factor on why Houston was so successful in 2020. Sure, it helped that our team was 5-0, like it will this year when we go 12-0. But it also helped that it was like every week, sometimes twice a week, they were hosting events, and not just in Houston, but in the different suburbs around Houston. So, James, you know, again, Texas is built different, right? You can have an event in Dallas, and they're going to be 45 minutes away, right?
Oh, 100%.
Whether it's the suburbs. So you need to go different places. Not everybody lives around the stadium. In fact, probably most of your customers are going to be living out in the burbs. And so you need to be attacking that. And so I want to see that, selfishly, just because I like to go to them, but also because I think it does help. And we need to start doing it soon. We can't do, like, okay, they tested this out in Memphis last year, and they did what I said, but they only did it in the month leading up. And there's only so much you can do in 30 days. And so Houston, I think they do need a little bit extra attention. We saw the crowds last year, or lack thereof. And then even in these newer markets, like, we need to be out in Louisville, or whatever you call it, Columbus, Orlando,
Louisville.
like next week. Today, in fact. I guess they were in Orlando today to a certain extent.
Well, they'll be in Louisville tomorrow, and they'll be in Orlando. I mean, not Orlando.
It's just getting worse. Y'all are just doing it worse every time you say it.
I did that one on purpose. No, but
Bro,
yeah,
I
they'll have
said
an event
Louisville.
Thursday in Columbus, Kentucky tomorrow, and hopefully,
Mm-hmm.
there will be more boots on the ground. Right now, they're hiring a lot of positions because obviously, they're bringing in marketing people, ticketing people. They're
I
going to
need
need VP
marketing.
of business ops in some of these markets, etc. Once those positions are all in place, which might take a little while, we'll start. I think we'll start seeing more of those events, which will be big. Another thing too, Ref, is now that we actually know what the 8 teams are, is let's start pumping some ads on ESPN and on Fox. I mean, especially with Fox NFL Sunday, like remember those USFL ads that were playing quite a bit? I mean, I know we've had UFL ads as well during the NFL season, but now's the time. Like, let's push that stuff now. Like, let's get these people aware that there's 3 new teams. 5 of them are coming back. Like, it's exciting times for the UFL, and this is a make or break year, in my opinion. Like, these markets need to hit because if they don't hit, it's gonna be concerning for this league going forward.
Mhm.
Yep.
Well, and Fox and ESPN are great. They're a little bit more like the corporate feeling, like what we had with the USFL 2022 and XFL 2023. One cool thing that Repole seemed to bring in is kind of that Barstool Sports element, saying that he wants to work with John Gruden, have him involved in some capacity. Of course, you saw yourself mentioned on the Pat McAfee show earlier last week, and then kind of getting that brand of sports journalism, whether you hate it or love it, involved is kind of necessary for survival. They kind of seem to dictate what's cool and what's not, and there's all this stigma around spring football, and if anyone's going to break that stigma, it seems like it's going to be Repole coming in and making friends.
I couldn't agree with that anymore, especially talking about Barstool Sports and getting, legacy media is great, but you're not going to have much legacy media covering a league like this. If you can embrace some of these newer outlets like Bleacher Report and the things that like Pat McAfee does and things like that. I mean, speaking of Pat, we can go down a whole segment on that, but these bigger, newer brands that like they don't do things the traditional way, and that's why it works. So that's something that Rapoli seems to be all in on. I think he's very clear that he's a non-traditional kind of guy, and I think that's why I'm excited about what this league will look like moving forward with his leadership.
Yeah, man. Every year there's something interesting in spring football, and I'm just glad that it is another year of something interesting in spring football because I think there was moments. Jace kind of touched on it when he was on earlier, where it could have been a coin flip on if we have a season 3 or season or not. I mean, to be fair, this is the first time we've seen a spring football league of the same name make it to a 3rd season, hopefully. Flipping knock on wood. Next thing you know, Russia's going to nuke us and cancel the season. But if all goes well, this will be the first time we've had a season 3 in a spring football since the original USFL in the 80s, I believe, right? At least anything formidable.
Right.
So I love to see it. I just want to get
pinned.
I want to get it done. Like I don't want Repole to be Dundon. I think we've all been scarred, right? We're all going into this. We're happy. Hey, look, this guy seems interested. He's doing things. There was a good amount of people that felt that way about The Rock. There was a bunch of people that felt that way about Dundon. There was people that felt that way about Vince McMahon. So, but it does feel like Repole cares a little bit, just a little bit, and I'll take it. I'll take that. And you know what? I actually love them moving into the soccer stadiums. I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but DC was always such a great venue. Why? Because it fits that 20,000 about max. And even if you only get 10,000 people in there, it looks like a healthy crowd. And so if you can emulate that across, because let's be honest, not everything's going to be like St. Louis. St. Louis isn't still in the dome, though. Is that right? They didn't move.
It's actually St. Louis. Yes.
But they're in the dome still. They didn't move to the MLS stadium.
They're in a dome. I mean, I know there are talks potentially of them in future seasons down the road if they can work something out with the new city stadium where the St. Louis City play. But right now they got a good deal at the dome. It's a very good relationship for the venue and the league. It doesn't make sense to move away from that right now. And hopefully, because I mean, we saw the Battlehawks numbers kind of dip the last couple of years. I mean, they have been a market that's been taken advantage of as well in the sense that it's St. Louis, that everybody's going to show up. It's been evident that those numbers have been dropping. So hopefully that's something that Repole and this league, they need to focus on all 8 markets. They need to be giving strong attention to all 8. It can't just be picking and choosing a few. It's got to be all of them.
Yeah, I don't think St. Louis's drop is because of marketing. I think that's strictly because they suck and they choke during the playoffs. So that small number of fans dropping off is because of that. Marketing's probably still good there, you know.
In
It's just
St.
strictly
Louis?
the fall off. Yeah, just the fall off of the team in general.
No, I
Choking
mean, talk
in the
to
playoffs every year.
talk to some of the employees that I've talked to, and you'll hear a different story. I mean, their budgets are pretty tight, just like the other markets. So
I don't know. I think Ducky's onto something. I think they just sucked.
Yeah, I think they just suck.
Yeah, I talked to some employees, James, and they told me it was because they kept choking in the playoffs.
That's what I heard.
fascinating. Well, the more
Can't
you
believe
know.
that joke went over his head. Flew right over his head. Take flight, baby. Aviators 12-0.
Get out of here. No.
I'm so
Yeah,
glad
alright,
Ducky has a
13
team
though.
that like he actually can get behind and like be at the games.
I was behind the Maulers. Pause.
Well, I love though. It gave you a reason though. You have next year you have a problem on your hands because I don't know if you've ever gone 2 seasons supporting
Dude.
one team.
I genuinely I will unless they move.
Unless the Aviators get moved after
Yeah,
one
unless
season.
they move. Obviously, then. But no, I'm serious about Columbus. Like I'm gonna create a fan section. So follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I'll be posting about that later. I'm making some accounts for it and stuff.
So there's a couple other things that we can talk about that we haven't touched on, but thoughts on the leagues moving away from the conferences, which I mean we kind of expected this, right? Especially with the major sales going on in the UFL shop, and obviously some things that I've heard that the conferences would be switched up. The assumption was that we'd still see some sort of north and south or east. I mean, north and south would make the most sense because you can't really do east and west with this setup. But we're not having any conferences at all. It's just gonna be an 18 league. Top 4 teams make the playoffs. I think this structure will help for a small league like this, where we've seen it in years past, right? Like the Arlington Renegades make it into the playoffs over the St. Louis Battlehawks, who were 7-3 in the XFL, or in the USFL that year, you had the 5-5 Gamblers who couldn't get in because of the 4-6 Panthers and Stars. So I mean, you've had those storylines before. You kind of want to avoid that moving forward. The league almost made a change similar to that midway through this past UFL season that got shot down because it's like midway through the season. I don't know. I like the move.
only
I think
because they
it'll help the
wanted
league
St.
moving
Louis
forward.
in. They only did that because they wanted St. Louis getting in.
Yeah,
They weren't
but
doing it
now-
to better the league. They only did it for
Now
St.
they
Louis.
can make this move without it looking like they want St. Louis in. So it works.
That's true.
It works out.
I
But
do like
the
this
thing
way
that's
more.
interesting though is if you're playing a 10-game season, which you are, then who decides who you play twice? Because that's what made the conferences convenient. Is you'd play the other conference teams once and you'd play your own division rivals twice. So I'm not sure how that's going to work. That'll be interesting to see how they decide to flush that one out. I was thinking, Ref, this will be a throwback. Remember when they did the USFL draft order? They had like the balls that rolled down the little thing, and they picked out, what the draft.
The
They might have to
bingo
do
ball?
that for this. Bring that back.
Yeah. Hell
Live
yeah.
stream it.
Well, I think one of the benefits of not having conferences is that it gives you a lot more flexibility in terms of scheduling because you don't have, you can kind of decide with various teams who gets to play who twice. And you don't sort of say, okay, well, the Stains have to play Houston twice or they have to play Memphis twice or so on and so forth. Y'all good?
Yeah, sorry, comment.
So yeah, I just think that that's one of the benefits. And so I think some of the scheduling, to kind of go to your point, James, will be dictated by like stadium availability and, who can be home what weeks and all that kind of thing, more so than like, well, this team has to play this other team because they're geographically close or something like that.
Right.
I'm not too worried about it because we're gonna win every game this season. I just feel bad for like the allocation of teams that we're gonna beat and who gets decided. Like that'll be interesting to see. Like who plays who, right?
Right. And on another note, what teams are going where? In the sense of, who's going to get the Michigan Panthers? Like, I know people are going to say I'm a homer and whatnot, but, like, the Michigan Panthers were just in a championship. Like, this is a good football team. They've got a lot of solid players. They just signed Matt Corral. They've got Mike Nolan, Steve Kaiser, a couple of the top personnel guys in this league. Where do they end up? Because Orlando...
Hopefully not Columbus.
I hope it's not Columbus, just because that's going to piss off Panthers fans even more. I mean, you can't put them there and expect Michigan fans to invite the Panthers back in 2 or 3 years if you decide to bring them back. But
I think take Wade Phillips, put him in Houston, take CJ, go throw him in Orlando, do whatever with the San Antonio team, and then shut up, ref. And then put Memphis and Columbus, and then whatever after that.
Michigan,
Michigan, Louisville.
Yeah, so they changed from a cat to a horse. It's like Animorphs.
rest in peace, UFL Shadow being on the show, but he's still in the comments, so. It's true, though. Well, yeah, I mean, the conferencing will be interesting. A couple other things. Oh, next season, not well, how do I word this the right way? Not 2026, but 2027.
Boise Breakers.
They're talking about moving up the start date, which I think would be huge. I've always been a fan of the XFL timeline. I think it not only works better for players, because then they can get into earlier camps and OTAs and all of that when they sign to an NFL team, but it also, I think, for the fans, it just makes more sense because the weather's going to be better, especially with a lot of the venues that you're playing in. Sure, you're going to be playing in Columbus, Ohio, which might be a bit cold if you're in, late February, but still, you look at the venues across the league, that I like it better.
And honestly, as long as they
Mama boy, what did I do now?
That and we don't care about the snow. We're Ohio. We're made
Right.
for that stuff.
I think it would work just fine.
I would think Ohioans would probably prefer a snow game over almost anything else. I mean, it's just we're built different. We're Ohioans. We're better at everything. We're better at football. We're better at everything.
Better at not being able to afford heat, so you're used to the cold.
Nuh-uh.
Anyway,
Luke, where do you want to see these teams end up?
Louisville.
He's on mute.
Sorry, I couldn't unmute myself. I don't know. I don't really know that I care too much. I mean, I think I do think that it would be kind of a slap in the face to send the Michigan team to Ohio. So I don't know what the odds of Michigan ever coming back are, but if there's any legitimate hope that happens, which again, alumni Phi, I mean, that whole situation is just frustrating. But if there's any serious consideration of coming back once that stadium's done, then I think if you want to maintain just a tiny bit of goodwill with the people of Michigan, you don't send the team to Ohio. But I mean, I would be open to Michigan going to Louisville just because I think because of the horse thing, there's the potential for a budding rivalry between Louisville and Birmingham. And I think if the Michigan coaches and players went there, it would sort of, increase the likelihood of that kind of becoming something. But I mean, it's tough because whatever, two teams are going to start off behind. Whoever gets Memphis's roster and lack of a head coach, and whoever gets the Brahmas roster and also lack of a head coach is already kind of starting a little bit behind. Now, again, they could end up hiring a really fantastic head coach, and that could kind of level things out. But
And when these moves are made, it should be because the head coach is in place. So there's that as well. I mean, that's why that wasn't announced today. Otherwise, I think it would have been.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think, for example, if Orlando gets, I don't know, Memphis's roster or something like that, but then they hire John Gruden, I think there's going to be a lot of excitement and energy there, and kind of regardless of the players that are kind of coming over and the lack of success they had last year. So,
and the Brahmas roster is interesting because they haven't re-signed anybody. I mean, Mark Lillibridge has specifically been waiting for a head coach and what to do on that end, and now all of a sudden his team's being relocated. So that's another piece of the puzzle where Michigan and Memphis, or should I say the Showboats and the Panthers, already have a bunch of players under contract. The Brahmas have none. The only guy under contract with the Brahmas is Mark Lillibridge, and that is it. Nobody else. So
They better not take the Brahmas to Columbus. If I have to root for destroying Oh my god.
He won't be back.
I don't think he's
Okay,
going to be
good.
back
No.
yet.
Dude,
No
he
way.
is so garbage. Quit. Even at YouTube,
Now,
quit that
Are
stuff.
we assuming like the entire team is following them, or have there been any talks of it being like potentially they're entering Houston, Orlando, or all the teams which left into like some type of aspect of the UFL college draft and having like an expansion draft prior to
I
having
don't
a
think
college
so.
draft?
I think if they decided to do that, it'd be really dumb because this is not expansion. This is just purely relocation. You have the teams in place. You have general managers in place. You have specifically for the Showboats and the Panthers, there are a lot of players who already are under contract that have re-signed for 2026 or have signed. Free agents have come in as well. So I think it'd be unfair to them. I think it'd be unfair. Look at the general managers too, right? A guy like Jim Manos, who's been working his tail off with the Showboats the last couple of years, it'd be really unfair to him to, after building this team in Memphis and after trying to rebuild the roster for 2026, just because they're like, oh, we're moving out of Memphis, either A, he'd lose his job, or B, they're taking away the team that he built away from him. Like, that just doesn't, to me, that makes zero sense. I don't think they'd do that. I hope they wouldn't, but, I mean.
But
yeah,
James,
it
don't
makes
you think
zero
it's-
sense, and I wouldn't agree, but it's also kind of reasons why they'd likely do it. So can never rule anything out.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's
James-
the UFL, yeah.
I mean, do you think there's a good chance though that whoever they hire to be the head coach, like, do you think it'll be a stipulation that it's like, oh, you're going to be working with Jim Manos, or do you think it's like, oh,
So I think it depends on who the coach is, right? I mean, let's say they bring a name in like John Gruden, right? I mean, that's a huge name. And if John is adamant, and I want to be clear, guys, this is all hypothetical, so please don't quote me as I'm saying John Gruden's coming to the league or how we think. But you would assume that someone of John Gruden's caliber, he would have a bit more pull in the sense of if he was adamant that I worked with this guy before, like I want to bring in my own GM, yada yada. The UFL would probably be a little bit more inclined to be like, well, I mean, it is John Gruden, like we got to let him work with his guy. Whereas if it's some other younger head coach, just someone else that has a little bit less pull and power, I would think it'd be easier for the UFL to be like, hey, like we already have a GM in place on this team, we're gonna place you here with him. Because I mean that's kind of how it's worked in the past as well. I mean we saw Dennis Polian was under contract with the Pittsburgh Maulers, and then when they brought John DiFilippo to coach the Memphis Showboats, when the merger went down, they were like, hey, here's Dennis Polian, he's already under contract, you got to work with him. So that'd be my guess. We could also see a GM decide to step away. That's never out of the question, but I would, for the sake of the league, I would hope that they would keep these guys in place.
James, what are the odds? Jace talked about this when he was on here, but do you have any sense that current head coaches that are sort of with teams that aren't being, relocated are sort of up in the air? Like, I mean, is there a chance that CJ is let go and they hire somebody like Wade? Because
Always
somebody,
a
I think
chance.
Ducky was saying, you could send CJ in the Houston team to Orlando or something like that, and then bring Wood Phillips into Houston. But it seems odd that you would move the Houston team out of Houston when they're still in Houston. So I feel like the only way CJ goes somewhere else is if he's fired.
Right. Yeah, I mean, anything's on the table, especially with Mike Repole at the helm. I mean, he's calling the shots, and things have been shaking up pretty dramatically as is, so wouldn't be shocked to see more of that. I think we also could see a situation where, the UFL has pretty consistently decided to, slash pay over the years, whether it was through the merger, and obviously, they have to do what's right for the future of the league financially. I mean, that's first and foremost is most important, but some of these coaches have decided to leave because they're like, well, this paycheck is just not worth my time or my effort anymore. And we could see a situation like, how much longer is Bob Stoops going to stick around in this league? You know what I mean? Like, at what
Hopefully
point
not
does
much
he
longer.
decide that it's just not worth his time? And his
Bro,
energy
probably
for the
forever
paycheck
because he
get?
doesn't do anything. Like, it's a great paycheck when you don't do
Dude,
anything.
I strictly
Yeah.
think Stoops is just a name. Like,
I
one of those name grabbers.
agree. I mean, it's Rick Mueller and the assistants doing a lot of the work in Arlington, but still, well,
Like,
Dallas.
I'm so ready for like coaches who haven't been head. I'm gonna say his name again, like Jaron Horton. I'm so ready for somebody like that to get their shot. And I'm so tired of coaches that have already been coaches and they stopped coaching and they came back and yada yada yada. It's cool. It's a name grab. It's whatever, but you're not giving the people the opportunities they deserve. And like, there are a lot of guys who deserve an opportunity. Look at DC, for example. Coach Harris, dude, he deserved that opportunity. He took it and he ran with it. You've got to start giving these guys opportunities because
And
I don't know.
I think
Just getting old.
I think after all the issues with Wisenhunt leaving, Wade leaving, Barlow leaving halfway through the offseason, like I feel like if I was the league, I would be picking younger guys who are more safe bets to stay and grow with the program, rather than either retirement stops or you're a one and done off to some Power 5 school.
Right.
There's some
Yes.
offensive analyst.
Well, and also, I mean, I think with like
Look who it
for
is.
for example, with I'll say one thing real quick, and then let Zach have his moment. But I think with somebody like Bob Stoops, I mean, initially it was like, wow, this is a huge name, this is a huge hire, like it was a big splash. But like, it's not like that's people have turned out in droves in the Dallas area to see Bob Stoops coach the Renegades. Like, it's not, it doesn't seem to boost attendance. It doesn't seem to boost like popularity of the league or people taking it seriously. So like, if having a big name coach doesn't even at least bring you that, then why hire a big name coach who doesn't care when you could instead, like you guys are saying, hire somebody that's going to take it really seriously? I mean, half the reason the Stallions have probably been so successful over the last 4 years is because they have a head coach who takes this extremely seriously, which you
Yes.
can't say for every team.
And I mean,
Yeah.
and I know Ducky's going to disagree with me here. I think that's why we've seen St. Louis have a lot of success too, because Anthony Becht is one of the few coaches in this league that is doing stuff year-round for the Battlehawks, and he's involved in all the personnel decisions, and he's out there promoting the league on social media, and he's doing what a lot of these people in this league should be doing, right? I mean, he's doing that all on his own free time and all on his own dollar. I mean, he's just randomly the other day, he was in St. Louis, and he just decides to post that.
He was in
"Hey, St.
Orlando
Louis,
today."
I'm here. Like, you know what I mean? Like, things like that I think are great for not just Becht, but the entire league to kind of adopt if you're in the UFL space. So I highly applaud him for that. But Ref, your boy's here.
I know. And I saw the sign in the background. Does that say, let's go gamblers? Are you all in?
Let's go
No,
gambling.
it's let's go gambling. It's
But
the
you're
meme. Let's go gambling.
Let's go
Oh,
gambling.
dang it. Oh,
He's
dang
not
it.
wrong. If I can't beat you, I guess I got to join you.
Ref's law.
No way.
See, it was made
I'm
for a
serious.
Wait,
reason.
he's got to say it. He's got to say it.
This is a legendary moment.
12-0, baby.
I'm all in.
Let's do it. I'm all in. Yeah.
See, this makes the shitty logo worth it.
Hey, you know what? If they had to execute one of the two teams that made Ref's Law work, I got to go with the other side of the Ref's Law to keep it going. So that's how it's got to be. I still think it's a garbage new logo. They should have gone with the one they had in stock and loaded, but I got to go with the Gamblers to support my friend. So there's that. Lock it in. I'll have a shirt. I'll have my hat eventually. You can.
It looks like
consider
you have
me
your hat
a
already.
Houston. Well,
Did
I
you see
have
the-
part of it. It's my classic, but I always have the Gamblers side. You remember how this goes. I got to
Yeah,
have that one section of it. But, I thought about this too. It's like, look, I don't live in the Midwest anymore. I live in Arizona. I've been a resident now for 3 years. I'm pretty much an Arizona resident full time at this point. It's the farthest south team I got. So I'm going to take it. And I got
the
my
best
friend.
team.
I got my friend as well. Mike, a partner in crime, who's there. I mean, I've
now
been to more
you can-
Roughnecks games in the last few years too.
Now you can take trips to Houston and go root for the Houston team. I mean, it's perfect.
Might as well.
Can,
My
That's
only request is to somehow pull the old logo and use it some way, shape, or form. There's no reason not to. It's a good brand in terms of the old logo. This new one, I still am going to have to take some time because I don't like it whatsoever. But
Mike Bell
I'll
made a
live.
good point. Is part of the rebrand could be to kind of match the seats and the colors at Shell Energy, which I understand. But I still I
Isn't that
feel
orange?
like it still would be close enough with the old one. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know. But
Well, Shell Energy uses orange seats. I looked up their
Right.
own arena the other
Yeah.
day. They still use red here. I mean,
I
don't-
think they're trying to bring
My-
it in with the accent around the state. Look, I'll say this. Initially, it was a punch to the gut, the logo. I went through it earlier. I had this whole like, holy shit, the Houston Gamblers are back. I'm so all in. My fingers couldn't even control themselves. They were just typing funny things on the internet in relation to it. And then I pulled up the damn press release and saw that logo. I'm like, what is this? I had such an adverse reaction to it. But by now, you know what? It's come around. It is the best logo in the league still. It just could be better. I mean, I said it to you, Zach. It's a small price to pay when we're hoisting the trophy at the end of the season. 12-0, all in.
I can't believe this. We've got two
That's
Roughnecks.
great.
Well, Roughnecks. Good grief.
Yeah.
Gamblers
Zach?
fans.
Zach goes from Michigan to Gamblers. Jake just texted me. Jake said, "Screw it, I'm going Michigan to Columbus." So that's cool. So we'll have Jake going to Columbus. And then,
He would.
That's
for,
all
for
the team.
Ohio.
What do we think about the new league logo? And
Oh,
their
man.
that
rebrand?
is, dude, it looks like a crappy video game logo. Don't get me wrong, it's an okay
I can see
logo,
it.
but from what you had, I feel like just stick with what you had.
Look, my personal take is, I mean, the UFL logo, the original one, well, the original 2.0 UFL, not 2009. I thought it was decent. It wasn't anything to write home about, but it was slim. It was sleek. I liked it. I still have not bought into the new one. It looks like PFF's logo, just it's now a football. Like, I looked at the UFL account and I thought it was PFF for a second. Like, I don't know.
Can definitely see that. I just think there needs to be some type of color in it. Like the XFL 2020 had color, USFL 2022
good.
had color,
Dude,
and then all that went away. And that kind of seems where everything started to go south, and nobody's been like, oh, I wonder, when that sort of happened.
The USFL logo for me will always be the greatest like football branding logo. For me, obviously, I'm not a homer or anything, but
I think league-wise, their branding kind of tied together the best.
yeah.
Forever USFL, man. That's what I always stick with. But, look, like I said, it is what it is. I picked my team. Now I got to be honest with you, I don't know. It's going to take some time. New logos always get eventually chilled out with how people receive them or whatnot. I'll go real quick through the three new ones. Aviators are my favorite of the new three. I'm just going to go right away. I mean, the color scheme's great. I think the C tied in with the A is really nice. So I think it's got the most potential. The Orlando one is basically dollar store Frankfurt Galaxy. I'm not going to lie. Like the same color scheme, the Storm logo. Even Tampa Bay fans from back in the day for the Tampa Bay Storm, like, so you just rip that directly from there as well, because the O's matching near the same as well for the Hurricane. So, but okay, tie back. And then we got the Louisville Kings, and I'm just like, what the hell is this? We took the Stallions logo, threw a crown on it, and people have made references to DraftKings logos as the deal. I'm like, okay, whatever. You got two horse logos now, I guess, and we have green because green. So
It's like a Guardians ripoff from Orlando.
because green.
But
That's all I can say.
I don't.
At least it's
Honestly-
less teddy bear than that Guardians logo. That's all I could see was a teddy bear face.
I would honestly feel better if they came out at the press conference tomorrow. I mean, like, this team is being sponsored by DraftKings. Like, I would be annoyed, but I would be like, okay, at least it kind of makes sense then why this logo is the way that it is.
I had that thought. I wouldn't, nothing
I-
would shock me.
Honestly, I feel like this was a big brain, like Mike Repole's like, well, we want gambling anyway, and I'm a horse guy. We gamble on horses.
And he's a king.
We can try and get this easy tie-in. I don't know.
Well, I love the name. Like, I
The
think
name's
it's-
fine. Yeah.
I think it's a great name, and like looking at the team, the history of like,
Sure.
the Louisville having ties. I know I botched how to say it, but whatever. Louisville like having ties to like legitimate royalty, which kind of started a lot of the horse racing that is in that area. Like, that's a phenomenal name. I love the name, and I also don't hate the logo. It's just the color scheme and the logo being so close to DraftKings, because it's literally DraftKings colors too. Like, I don't
See,
know.
I personally hate reusing names of other active pro teams. Like when I hear about the Kings game, I think about, either
Sacramento.
the NBA or NHL. When I hear about, the Storm game, I think about Seattle. I'm honestly surprised there with ESPN's ties and partnership with the WNBA
Wait.
that, they would kind of greenlight a team with this exact same name as one of their kind of sponsees right now.
What's the Seattle Storm? What are they?
What,
The WNBA.
Wow,
what
Ducky.
the hell? Who the hell watches that? What the hell?
Here's my thing. Is
They're
like
the playoffs, bro.
here's
Yeah,
my
Caitlin
thing.
Clark, dude. Good times.
It's October right now, early October. Why don't you come out with a press conference today like they did in Orlando and say, hey, we're coming back to Orlando. We're going to play at Intercoast Stadium. We're going to take fan name submissions for the next 2 weeks or month. and then we're going to have a press conference and announce the team name and colors and branding and all that kind of stuff. I mean, that seems just like an easy way to get a lot of interest and fan engagement from the jump. And I feel like usually when you do that, you come up with some really unique names that actually have like really strong local ties, like you saw, for example, in Utah with the Mammoth and stuff like that. Kind of like it just felt like these names and brands were kind of rushed, and it just seems like it was like Repole was like, "Oh, I like Storm, so let's go with that," you know.
Yeah,
And
Aviators is the strongest in my opinion, just across the board, because like that's a legit name. We've
Yeah.
seen that one thrown around before. I mean,
Dude.
throw back to the Spring League Aviators in 2021, but knowing how, I mean, Ducky, you'd know this better than me, but like aviation's big, especially in that Columbus area. Like I know Ohio State has a lot of
Yeah.
aviation ties, with just like street names and
Yeah.
signage that's in the area. Like,
Yeah. They were from Dayton, but I saw some people on Facebook. I do use Facebook. A lot of people on Facebook saying, "Oh, that's Dayton," and it's like, no, our license plates say Ohio, birthplace of aviation. It doesn't say Dayton, birthplace of aviation. It says Ohio. I don't know why they're crying about that. But to the idiots who think it's North Carolina, you're wrong. You're stupid. Open a book, and you're wrong.
I am surprised they didn't name them the Ohio Aviators, though, a little bit.
I'm gonna be honest. I was kind of hoping it'd be like the Ohio Astronauts or something like that. The Ohio Nauts, because we have like, I think we have the most presidents, most astronauts. But I guess aviators work.
It's hard to talk about space though when Houston has a team, although we're the gamblers. But
You guys have the Astros too, I guess.
I thought Orlando was Space City.
Yeah, but we have the most
lots to
astronauts. You can
Cape Canaveral
launch
out
those
there,
from
yeah.
anywhere, but
I think
But
one
there's-
other thing that's interesting that we haven't touched on is every team getting new jerseys and
Yeah.
uniforms, including Birmingham, DC, and St. Louis, which are the three teams that kind of came through completely unscathed.
does this mean that Under Armour is out?
I
Maybe.
hope so.
See, that's interesting because I've heard. So, I have a buddy or two that are in the uniform biz, and I guess there's different Under Armour platforms to say. So, like, it feels weird because I feel like that would be a yes, but also he's claiming there's like another Under Armour platform, so maybe they're like switching it up. I have no idea, but something's definitely changing. And I'll be honest with you, this kind of ties into me. Like this is a new UFL. This is not what we got into 2 years ago. This is what I dub as it's 2.0 if you're talking modern, 3.0 if you're talking both. Really, it's the second iteration. This is a brand new day thing. They're trying full reset with what they're doing. The uniforms just feel like that just ties into everything else. Might as well reset everything and feel like it's brand new so people just assume it's brand new. You know?
I hope
So-
the aviators, I hope they got wings right here. Kind of like the Oregon Ducks, they got wings right there.
Oh, yeah.
if they
Be like
did
the
that-
I want to
the
see winged
Firebirds, too.
helmets.
Yeah, the Firebirds. If they did that, oh, that'd look so good.
Love those Firebirds
looks so
jerseys,
good.
man.
Those
Yeah.
are.
Oh, yeah.
Zach, don't the Barnstormers have like a similar thing too?
Yes, the old school ones do.
Cool.
Yeah,
And
well,
the Vegas
they,
Nighthawks.
They
Well,
bring it
and-
up. Yeah. Well, Nighthawks, actually, that's a better comp to the Oregon. Is
Oh,
Nighthawks use a very close one to Oregon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with like
not
kind of
Hey,
necessarily-
shout out
it's
Evan
like-
Wilsmore. What a
Yeah.
guy.
Not necessarily like bird wings, but just more like, like
Well,
the
kind of like
pilot
steel blade
stripes.
look, you know?
Yeah.
But a good comparison might be the Toronto Argonauts because they have like basically like the
if you
oars.
ever mention a CFL team with me sitting on this panel again,
So like I
Except for
said,
Cordell
the
Jackson.
Toronto Argonauts have like oars on the sleeves, and it's sort of like the wings like that you see with Oregon, but it's more kind of fitting to the Toronto mascot. So I could see kind of something adapted similar to that.
or do like a fighter jet like helmet. Ooh, that looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I
how
see
they
what
pull
you're
that off.
looking at here, Luke. And yeah, I mean, it's a little more subtle though than like even like Oregon or Vegas, because like a pretty clever design. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Oh, I see it. That's pretty cool. Well, never mind. CFL. That's not so cool. Never mind.
But this is clearly it's not the same UFL. They're definitely doing it's a full reset thing. So I consider the last 2 years era dead. We are in a new era. That being said, for personal response, my standard and how I view how they operate things is going to be much different moving forward. I don't the days of me feeling like sunshine rainbowy are gone because I'm done doing that same cycle. Like the uniform reveals, cool, we're gonna get uniforms. That happens every new league. Just heads up. Like I'll be happy to see him. That doesn't mean that anything comes out of it that's like positive pro league business stability things.
Well, it will when you buy a brand new shiny Houston Gamblers jersey, and
buy a
that's
shirt.
one, and a shirt, and a hat, and a tattoo. You're gonna name your first son Gambler, your first daughter Houston. Maybe your daughter comes first. I don't know. I don't know. A city name feels good for a girl. Why not Houston?
They had to do that in the chat to him.
What did he?
I
back.
do want on these new Houston jerseys.
Well,
I do want on these new Houston jerseys to actually put the logo like what they did in 2020 on the collar. I feel like that's
that.
one of the simplest touches you can put on.
That's the whole reason why they folded.
They couldn't afford the extra logos.
No, that was
Too many
Vince
damn
McMahon,
logos
bro.
on
They
these
had the money.
jerseys. Oh boy.
You know, I promised Luke Miller that if he
Yeah, I
joined
feel
the
like
show-
James. I feel like you had something else you needed to share.
Yeah. I promised that if he joined the show, I would drop a couple of Birmingham Stallion signings on the show. I feel like I owe it to Luke. I mean, he had some pretty good input. Ref, do you agree? I mean,
Yeah, I agree.
all right. So, Luke, 2 signings for you. The Birmingham Stallions.
You better
they
say
have-
Jay Sternberger.
No, he ain't coming back.
He's coming to Houston, baby.
You've signed
I
2
hope.
free agents, not from other teams, just
Spicy.
free agents. 2 offensive linemen. Offensive guard, Chasen Hines, who was a former draft pick with the Patriots. He won a championship with LSU in 2019. Solid pick of guard. And you signed Earl Bostic Jr. He's an offensive tackle. Had a really good career at Kansas. Undrafted free agent with the Cowboys. So 2 guys that bring some NFL experience to the table. Some nice upside. I like both the pickups. And I think Birmingham's going to need it because Barry Wesley's, he's with the Saints on IR. Couple of guys that aren't re-signed yet. We could see some movement up front. And Stallions' offensive line was a bit shaky last year. Injuries hurt. So I think bringing in some youth and some guys that already have NFL experience is definitely going to help out. So, Luke.
Yeah,
there you
no,
go.
I think that's solid because I was actually just thinking the other day, there's been a lot of movement recently, a lot of signings and stuff like that. But if you looked at the Stallions roster right now, who they have under contract, they only have 2 offensive linemen under contract. One is Cole Schneider, who's obviously been a staple of their offensive line. And then the other is Grant Miller, who spent preseason with them last year, but then was cut. But then they brought him back mid-year because of injury. So he's kind of one of those guys that maybe, with another year in the system and stuff like that, could kind of develop into a solid starter, a role player for us. But he's also potentially a fringe roster guy that might not even end up making the roster again, depending on, how things go. So that was one area where I was kind of like, and like you just said, I think that was an area of weakness for the Stallions last year, where typically in years past, the Stallions offensive line was known for being one of, if not the strongest in the league. And last year they really struggled, going back to that opening game where, Alex Magoo was sacked like 8 times. So, I think I'm glad to hear that there's some movement on that front, because I think that was starting to be a question in my mind of, hey, is this being prioritized? And so I think it's a good to know that Paul Rowell and Skip Holtz are kind of out there scouring for some new fresh life to kind of bring in to bolster the offensive line.
I really like the addition of Bostic in particular because he's a big guy at tackle. He's like a physical specimen. And tackles was a bit weak for you, I feel like, last year, not just with the injuries, but also with Christian DeLauro struggling quite a bit to begin the season. He was kind of inconsistent last year, so depth is going to help. And I'm making a prediction now. I think Bostic has a chance to start, maybe not out of the gate, but at some point during the season for Birmingham. So, exciting times for the Stallions, Luke. There you go. I owed you a couple, so you're welcome.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving the people what they want.
Mm-hmm. I feel like I might have to do this more often, where like I save a signing or two just to announce on ATU.
What, Zach? What'd you call it last week? The dangle, something dangle.
The carrot.
Dangle?
Dangling the carrot.
Dangling the carrot. You got to do that with Luke.
I told James, I was like, hey, I got a lot going on tonight, but I'm not above being bribed if you want me to come on.
Yeah. There you go. 2 NFL offensive linemen. Hell yeah. But lots of transactions come down the pipe. For the chat, anyone who's still watching, I'm kind of stuck not reporting some of them right now because I know a bunch of guys that have signed to the Showboats and the Panthers, and I'm like, why the hell would I report that right now? Like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
The Columbus Aviators, the Orlando Storm, or the Louisville Kings signed so and so. Like, how do I even report that right now? So
That's probably what the UFL is also waiting on.
Yeah.
To get that.
Yeah.
We've got to get that figured out. If I'm part of the marketing team, I'm pushing, the ownership to get this out there because that's just less and less and less marketing that they can do with those teams. And you're getting at that point now where you're in the last quarter of the year. You've got to start. You got to start marketing them. We saw it with Michigan last year.
Wait,
What are you laughing
Pierce
about
Sports
now?
Productions. Yeah, I am wearing Jace's shirt. I forgot to bring that up when he joined.
Maybe he wouldn't have stormed off.
Yeah, I
You
know.
would have showed him that.
What a guy.
Oh man.
James Larson's burner.
Wasn't Larson spelled wrong too?
Yeah.
Yes.
So will this
so
change like the allocation like with teams obviously because
Are you talking about the NFL cuts too?
yeah.
So,
Like, obviously-
that was the point I was about to bring
That
up.
is a fascinating aspect of what's coming for.
That
some of these
has been
rosters.
taken away, to my understanding. The whole allocation process thing,
okay.
where to break it down for those who might not be aware, from June to December, UFL teams could only sign cuts from 4 NFL teams that were allotted to them, and that would only count for the past 3 draft classes. So for this year, it would have been 2025, 2024, and 2023. They've decided to take that away, which is evident from some of the signings, like the Cowboys cutting Earl Bostic. He would not be able to sign with the Stallions right now. He would have had to sign with the Renegades, the Dallas Renegades. So, yeah, that's been taken away, and there is a small chance that it's still a part of the draft in some way, shape, or form, but I don't think it will be. I think with all these changes, they just decided to get away with that entirely, which I'm a fan of. I don't think the allocation process was really helping the league at all, especially because it's not like, a lot of these, like San Antonio's teams that were allotted to them was like the Jets and the Giants and the Bills and the Patriots. Like, those teams aren't in San Antonio, remotely close to San Antonio.
Yeah.
So, I'm a fan of it. I think it makes more sense that way. And I think at some point you can bring the allocation process back if you can do it in a little bit more of a regionalized way. But for now, to my understanding, and from the transactions we've seen, it is no longer in place.
That's good. Now they just need to move Memphis to Columbus, and then everything will be perfect. Because
Jaron Morton, Aviators head coach.
yes, and Steel Chambers, former Ohio State player, that would be a welcoming home for him. Everybody would love that. They've got to think
According
about
to
stuff like
Jake
that.
Milligan, he'd only attract maybe 1 or 2 tickets, but
Yep.
It's about
Even
Memphis'
though
attendance, anyways. So
Ohio State is the largest American football fan base.
Man, it must be
That's a
sad because it's been a while since you guys beat Michigan. That must just be like a thorn in your side.
That has-
Every major
I have no
sports event
idea
you
what
go
that has to do with our fan base size, but
Oof. You sound like a Battlehawks fan right now, Ducky.
Yeah. What happened
no,
to you?
I don't.
We got the biggest fan base.
I don't know. I think Ohio
Yes.
State just won a championship and did
You know,
not
I
choke in the
always-
playoffs.
I always love comments like this because, like, my whole philosophy on football is if you aren't winning, then what the hell else does matter about that? A lot of people talk online about, this is an interesting part I always see online. Oh, well, he's not entertaining. Last I checked, entertaining doesn't mean winning. So I care about trophies. A lot of people care about stuff that doesn't matter about the on-field product. It's amazing.
See, you're already starting to talk like a gambler's fan. That's all I care about too is the trophy that we're going to get at the end of the year when we go 12-0 all in.
Columbus just took the national championship trophy for
See, there you go.
for
That's
college.
it. That's how
And
I
then
lead with it.
Jaron Horton's going to come in, win the UFL trophy with Columbus. By the way, everybody watching, you should go on Twitter right now and at Mike Repole and just say, hey, hire Jaron
at
Horton.
Repole Stable.
At Repole Stable. I'll actually, how many people are watching? 75 people? If all 75 of you go right now, I'll give every single one of you $5 if you go report at Mike Repole. Hire Jaron Horton as the
Let me get
head
my
coach.
burners.
Can't
Daddy
hide
needs a
money.
new pair of shoes.
No, you have
Can't
to
hide
be in
money.
this. You have to be in this in the comment section.
What is going on in the chat?
I don't know.
You're just now seeing
Bama Boy keeps telling James Baker that he voted for Kamala. Then James said, "I voted 6 times."
yeah,
Makes sense if you did vote for Kamala. And then, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, Bama Boy's funny. For the most part.
Is Repole a Democrat? What the?
I
Why-
highly doubt
Guys,
that. He's a
who
white male.
cares?
Who cares?
Nobody
Birmingham.
cares.
It's the whole
All we
personality.
care about is if Mike Repole is going to bring us to the promised land and
That-
keep this league going for 10, 15, 20 years.
Look, that's all
If
I
he does
care
that,
about. Is
I
like,
could care less what his political affiliation is for the rest of his life. I wouldn't care to begin with either way. Who cares?
Let's see. Let's look up Mike Repole on
I mean,
Twitter right now.
I know I'm enjoying.
I'm
I
just
know
curious
enjoying
if anybody's doing it. Is anybody doing it?
Hold on, let's see.
I think
know
we're being
I'm
view
enjoying,
botted right now.
We got Peer Sports
Uh-oh.
production.
Like I'm joining late, but like I've been very like Mike says a lot, and I'm like, okay, talks a lot, do action. The soccer stadium bits, I gotta give my praise for, because that's a start. You know, job's not done, but it's a
He
start.
did make it happen in a short window, to his credit.
He did, which actually I have to give even more, because the last time I was on here, just when we were talking about the teams and like finally moving on from the 3 teams, just last week. Yeah, it was. I was like, are they going to grow the balls to go to Interco Stadium in Orlando, or will they take the easier, likely cheaper deal in Orlando? And you know what? That's when I'm like, you know what? You doubled down and you went to the place that you said would make more sense. So
I think in Dallas, similar situation. Like Choctaw was probably a pretty favorable place to do everything, and they took the risk of, going and signing a new lease up in Frisco. And I think he did sort of put his money where his mouth is on this one for sure.
which is what I want to see more of. I'm tired of hearing guys in these league levels talking and claiming that it's going to be what they're doing and not doing it. Give me action. I'm not a guy for any of this showboating, like pageantry stuff anymore. If you're going to say something, do something. It's like the local marketing bit. That's my next challenge. I have heard up and down. Mike has talked at these press conferences. We have to fix what we screwed up, which, reminder people, they were garbage in ticketing and marketing last 2 years.
So
That is a department they have to fix. So
you know me, I got the facts, I got the stats. Bama boy, I think you'll be happy. Repole, he was dumping all sorts of money into DeSantis. You got to become Louisville or Orlando fan, because those are his teams now. I mean, there we go. See, I got the deets, I got the facts. I just had to find out what political committees he was donating to.
Jim, where are you getting that from, pal? I don't even know what I said to do that. Oh man. How can I celebrate on my friend Bill Alexander losing his team? That dude deserves
Hey,
a
the
team.
parking lots were full.
Dang.
Shout out
Savage.
Bill. Shout out Bill this year.
Yeah.
That dude really made me like.
Yeah, I can't celebrate that. Bill was too good. That guy
Yeah.
didn't deserve to lose his team.
This is why he should become a Gamblers fan.
I'd welcome that.
Everybody should.
Okay.
Everybody
Bill,
should become
if-
a Gamblers fan.
Bill, if you ever do
everyone,
switch
Bill.
teams, go to Columbus, and I will treat you to the Columbus city.
Do you know why I also picked this team? I'm already gambling on fandom in these leagues anyway. Might as well double down.
There you go.
There we go.
Hey, at least we're
Thank you for
getting
Arizona
the
and not Texas.
Double Down Derby back.
Yeah, we are.
That's
Yeah.
we are.
a throwback to 2022 when they tried
Very
to force
nice.
rivalry week.
No, that was amazing. Take it back, dude. That was
Double
the
down
coolest thing
derby.
ever. Second weekend, we got rivals, baby. That was awesome. I want more of that. It's Houston versus the whole league, though, which I get it. I'd be pissed if I was part of one of these other teams or a fan of one of these other teams and have to go place Houston. I hope we're going to demolish you guys. Just starting the season off with a quarterback, and if they get rid of Zach, back me up here. If they get rid of CJ Johnson, we're rioting as Gamblers fan, are we not?
Oh no. I have to debate this?
No, you have to agree with me. We are rioting if CJ Johnson is not there. Like I said, I am not getting rid of my
Zach is
season tickets.
regretting coming on.
I'm going to be there.
I'll make this work.
Just imagine you and me, Zach, at the game, front row. One of us holding a sign C, the other one holding a sign J, and just the whole game.
That's it.
All in.
That's
And
the
then-
entire
That's
game
the
with
play.
fandom right there.
One of you is in a SpongeBob costume and the other's in a Patrick costume.
I came on here and surprised you. You don't have to give me reasons to leave.
No. I'm giving you reasons to stay. These are all the amazing parts of being a Gamblers fan. Just, I'm already trying to find a junky car that I can throw swangers on. Like, we are doing this right. Did anybody see the picture I posted on Twitter of the coolest, most Houston car ever, where he had the swangers? The car was slightly beat up. Like, the rims were more expensive than the automobile, which is like that's the right rim then. The rim should be more expensive than the car. And then he had the custom plate swang.
I'll tell
Sign
you
that
what,
guy up.
I will support whoever's head coach is the best way I will put it until it goes too far. Just saying.
When you say too far, you mean when we throw up too many points on a team and you feel bad for them?
No, if we go freaking 2-8 again, then I have to KO.
2-8. We don't know.
Is that
those
someone's
numbers.
number in particular, or is it just a Renegades jersey?
It's the 23. I got that one, and then that one back there is like what like the flag guys, where Goldie gave me like a whole pack of stuff. So
Nice.
Nice.
yeah, if any of you guys are also trying to become Renegades fans, let me know, and I can hook you up some gear.
Newly Dallas Renegades fans of Frisco.
I'm kind of concerned, honestly. The only concern I have about Toyota Stadium is if we do well, and the fact that we have the UFL headquarters in DFW and Repole actually puts efforts in, the renovations have it capped at 11,000, which may not be an issue as far as attendance if we kind of flutter around 10, but pricing wise, we may no longer see those $20 tickets at Choctaw. And there's something also to be said about the fan experience of like COVID crowds, because I kind of like it because, can have a whole row to yourself, bring buddies, don't have to worry about who has tickets where.
Mm-hmm.
But with Toyota,
Toyota
it has a
seat-
chance to actually
seat
be
20,000?
close to sold out. It seats 20,000 typically. I think it's going to seat 25 after the renovations, but it's configured right now to seat 11,000, if I'm right.
I told one of the people on Discord I'm in with the arena one that they were talking about this UFL thing, and someone brought up the attendance thing. I said, I will be the happiest when I'm dead if I never have to hear about attendance based optics ever again. Because I get it, but I also don't like talking about it because I just like watching football. But whatever, bring it on. Soccer stadiums for days. I hope it's the last time I ever hear about this. It probably won't be, but
This is another reason it's good that you're a Roughnecks fan, because we are going to be packing the house this season. The second Roughnecks fan. Ugh, get that out of my. Why did I say that? Gamblers fan, all in, baby.
well, and I'll tell you here, Ref. When we went to the opener down at the University of Houston Stadium, Shell Energy is right by downtown. It's a little bit more optimal spot as well, besides a really solid and newer venue. So
Yeah. Well, it's right. Did we go to? Yeah, we went to pitch 21 before that baseball game. Yeah, it's right over there. And you know what? I might even have a cheap way to park, because if we can find that spot behind the liquor store or whatever that was, sign me up. Just a homeless guy. Yeah, $10. Sure thing, bud. Just don't let anyone steal my
cruising,
car.
boozing, and no football losing. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
12-0.
me too. Oh man, it's gonna be a good season, Zachy boy. I'm so glad. See, Ref's Law had to die for this right here. This is, man, Ref's Law. That's the hat I should have been wearing. It's
Soul
behind
for a
me.
soul.
Full disclosure, if the Panthers do come back and somehow this magically does happen, I have to switch back. Just letting you know. It's like a NATO clause. That's like the one thing I have that would hold me to it.
Trying to think of what city. So, what city is like the opposite of Chicago? What's the city that Chicagoans hate?
New York.
Okay, what if they moved to
Red
New York?
Sox. Yeah.
What if they went to what?
What if the Panthers went to New York? Then would you be a Panthers fan if they were the
Well-
New York Panthers?
No, it's not the same.
Yeah, and they would just be saying, "Hey, stupid Michigan sucks." That's what
I
they
also
would be
would've-
saying. You'd be
also-
like, "Yeah, I'm a fan of you."
The fact I also have friends out there too that would be those fans. Like, it's not the same. Those people aren't. Those people who lost their team still. So you know, be a cheap copy. I'd be like, why not just pick New Jersey? Pick the Generals, man. You got that brand chilling out there.
See, that would be good. Just don't change the logo. Keep it the logo
Well,
the same.
then
Don't
that's the thing.
gamblers
They'd probably revamp it to some weird newish logo to feel new.
Well,
Now that we got the gamblers back, we just need to get the blob in Houston now. I know everyone on DC is trying to start that chain, but they're wrong. They're wrong.
No, that's a good point. Are they going to bring back what's his face? The Gamblers' old mascot?
Ooh, they better.
Hey,
No,
you got
he
the
went to- Oh no, that was
There was the Bandits one that went to.
Yeah.
Bandits one went to the Renegades.
And
You
they
still
already
have-
rebranded him. They had a whole news link today about
Dude,
he's
they
wearing
oughta
the
just
Bandit
get-
cape.
They ought to just get. Oh my god, I forget the player's name now. Who was
I'm pulling
that?
it up.
Odom? Who was smoking cigarettes?
Yeah.
Chris
yeah.
Od- Oh no,
No, it
Reggie
was,
Nelson.
Nelson. Just get Nelson to go walk around with a cigarette in his mouth.
Hell
There you
yeah.
go.
Yeah, hey, Ace, I think's back. That's who the mascot was. Remember, he had the cards to pull from his
That's
hat
right.
too.
That's right.
Hell yeah.
That's a
dude.
very
I'm so
easy
excited.
Dude,
grab.
that thing is like in a closet somewhere.
He's
in
about to get a
Choctaw
lawsuit.
Stadium. He's about to come back out.
He's about to get a lawsuit from UFM Ace. Get him, Ace.
Wait, I have a theory. What if they take, and I dare say this, they take the Breakers mascot and throw him in Orlando? All right, looks like a wave, storms,
That's true.
water.
Ooh, what was his name? Dave? Dave the Wave?
Dave
Dave the Wave, yeah.
With that toothpaste hair.
Yeah, dude.
Toothpaste
Yeah,
hair?
dude.
And
Cold.
then
What if
next
they-
year they could put Stanley in Louisville.
No, you know how they? No, here's the thing.
Good
They,
idea.
last year they got a new Stanley. I guess the old costume was wearing out or something. I don't know. So maybe they can find the old costume and put a crown on his head, and just swap out the jersey and send the
Painted
old Stanley to Louisville.
Now that has me curious because Luke, I saw a Stanley costume was at like College Game Day or something. Now is that the old costume or is that just
No,
the
that
league
was the new
showing
one.
up? That was
Yeah,
the
that
league
was the
showing
new
up
one.
and doing that.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I don't
Okay.
know. I haven't heard of like anything else they did. Like I don't know if they had a booth set up there or anything like that. I get the impression that maybe it was literally just Stanley like walking around, but hopefully they were handing out some kind of flyers or something. But yeah, no, I mean that was somebody with the league is my understanding. I think it was probably there's an organization called Inventive Sports that's based in Birmingham that does like sports marketing, and the league has kind of contracted some things out to them over the past several years. So I'm assuming they did it
Okay,
for the league.
I'll take it.
I still think it's the dumbest thing ever that they didn't promote Columbus's new UFL team. They didn't even have to say the Aviators. They should have just done like a little tiny event. UFL. It's in Columbus at the Texas-Ohio State game.
That would
Still-
make too much sense, Ducky.
Still think it's the most viewed college game this year. I'm pretty sure it is.
Yes.
But
Well, it's one of the. It's last I checked, I
One-
believe it's the most viewed regular college football game of all time.
yeah,
Like,
that's crazy.
Fox- yeah, like
That
Fox
is
crushed
crazy.
that one. So
Don't know how. I don't know. I made a tweet about it. I called whoever the hell's head of marketing the stupidest person ever, and I stand by that because that was really stupid. Don't
No.
don't do dead air
Hopefully-
whenever I say that stuff.
hopefully, hopefully actions match the words and more stuff. Because again, hey, that's my next thing. Is like, I hear a lot of this local marketing. We screwed up. We made the mistakes, which all of us knew that. All right. I hope I see you.
I think it's time to
doing
wrap
what
up,
you need
guys.
to be doing.
It is time to wrap up.
It's time to wrap
This has
I
been
got-
might be our longest show ever.
It might be. I know. I haven't eaten today either. I was just looking. I was
Good
like,
grief,
oh,
Brett.
man, it's like 8 o'clock.
He's
I
just
should
riding
probably
off
eat.
that gambler's high all day.
Probably legit because I've been on meetings, like I said,
You know,
since 6
you know
in the
how
morning.
like people motivate themselves and they listen to like David Goggins on Rewind over and over. Ref has like CJ Johnson bits just playing in his earbuds over and over again. That's how he got
DJ just yelling at him for no reason.
It was
things that I
86.
didn't do.
It was 86.
I'm not even a player. What do you mean you're not a player? You know?
It's 86.
Oh wait, I got one thing we can send off on. Max is back for PFN, guys. None of you know who that is, probably, but he was
Guardian
he was our-
Center.
He was our
Storm
Guardians guy. He now
That was-
UFL Storm Center.
Is that
on
is he
Instagram.
still like child labor or is he out of that category?
No,
No, he
he's
graduated to adult.
He's 19. He's 19 now. Go ahead.
Hey,
and
we
look
can
that up.
legally announce to the world then he works for us.
Yeah.
Man's a W-2 employee. He's not.
He works for. He's still not paid, but he works for us.
Oh, on that note, I think it's this is a good time to say, hey, you should be following us. What do you got, James?
No, I was gonna say which team who are we saying sucks at the end of this broadcast?
Ooh, I got
Louisville,
one.
because we can't say their name.
Damn it. No, I
What
said
is
that
Louisville
last
sucks.
stream.
Their logo
I said that-
sucks. It's terrible.
I said that last stream. Pick a different team that's not the Aviators. I'll press the bleep button the entire time. Don't mess with me, guys.
I mean, we can go tried and true with the classic.
Yeah, there is the
Yeah.
classic.
Ooh.
Well, ref. What
The
were you gonna say?
Battlehawks
'Cause-
still suck.
No, that's not the classic. Let's roll it. 5, 4, 3, 2,
Follow us.
1.